Hello, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to discuss a limit problem. Here I have a function as limit x goes to 0, the function is equal to 1. If that's the case, find a. So that's what I need to do. I need to find a. So you can see it's basically algebra. I'm going to first start by simplifying the numerator, and then I'll simplify the denominator. If you look at the numerator, it has these two squares and it's a difference between two squares. Okay, so it's like this. So you'll have x squared minus y squared, and then we should be able to expand this using x minus y times x plus y. X minus y times x plus y. So I'm going to use that to simplify the numerator. So just keep this in mind. We are going to use this. Okay, so with that, I'm going to write down the numerator simplified. So limit as x goes to 0, the numerator, so I'm going to consider this as x and this as y. So x minus y. So I'll have 1 plus ax minus 1 minus ax. So that's my first term. And then this term, the addition of these two, which is going to be 1 plus ax plus 1 minus ax. That's the numerator. That's how you get the numerator. And then the denominator, I'm going to just write it for now as is. I have square root 1 plus a squared x minus square root 1 minus a squared x. And this entire thing is still equals to 1. Okay? And then the numerator simplifies. I'll write limit as x goes to 0. The numerator, can you see this minus sign? It can be distributed. So I'll have a minus 1 and a plus 1. So they will cancel out. And then minus and minus, that's plus. So I'll have 2 of these. So 2 times ax. 2 times ax. And then from here, plus ax and minus ax, they will cancel out. I'll have just 1 plus 1, which is going to be just 2. And that's the numerator. Now, if you look at this, this is a square root minus another square root. So what I'm going to do is now simplify the denominator, because I have simplified the numerator. So to simplify the denominator, I'm going to use something called the conjugate. So I'm going to use the conjugate of this term, the denominator. Okay, so I'm going to write down that term now. So this is the original one that was given, a squared x minus square root 1 minus a squared x. And then I'm going to write down the conjugate of this term, where you will have the plus sign. So square root 1 plus a squared x plus square root 1 minus a squared x. And then I need to write the same thing in the numerator, otherwise it's not balanced. So in the numerator, I'll have square root 1 plus a squared x plus square root 1 minus a squared x. And then the entire thing is equal to still 1. Okay, so the next line, you can see we can simplify this, because it's like the term and its conjugate. So now again, the limit as x goes to 0. Here I have 4 ax, and then I still have this term for the numerator, the conjugate. I'm going to write that first, 1 plus a squared x plus square root 1 minus a squared x. Okay, and now I'm going to simplify the denominator, this term. So multiplying this with this, I'm just going to get 1 plus a squared x. And then these two will cancel out. These two terms will cancel out. And finally, I'll get this one, which is a minus sign, and then 1 minus a squared x. Okay, and then this entire thing is equal to, still it's equal to 1. So the denominator, can you see, 1 and minus 1 will cancel out. This minus sign distributed with this one, that's going to be plus. So I'll have 2a squared x. So the denominator simplifies. I'll have 2a squared x. So I'm going to write that down now. So limit as x goes to 0, okay, I'll have 4ax, and here I'll have 2a squared x. So I'm going to write down 2a squared x, and then I'll have this term. One plus a squared x plus square root 1 minus a squared x. And the entire thing is still equals to 1 on the right hand side. And here I can further simplify. X cancels with x. There's a 2, and then the numerator will be 2, and one of the a's will cancel out. Okay, so that's what I have. So here I'll have 2 over a times this term, and I need to take the limit of that. So I'm going to now erase this part, and then, you know, make some space for me to continue this. So I'm going to just write this part over here in the top. So limit x goes to 0. Here I will have 2 over a, and then this term square root 1 plus a squared x plus square root 1 minus a squared x, and that's equal to 1. Okay, now can you see this is a constant, so I can take this term outside the limit. So that's what I'm going to do next. 2 over a goes out of the limit, and then I'm going to apply this limit as x goes to 0 to this expression. Square root 1 plus a squared x plus square root 1 minus a squared x equals 1. Okay, I'm going to erase another line. And then here I'll now distribute x goes to 0 over here. On this side I'll have 2 over a, and then inside the parentheses, when x goes to 0, this entire term becomes 0. So I'll just have square root 1 plus 0, and then a plus sign, square root 1 minus 0, and that's equal to 1. Okay, and then hopefully you can see the answer now. So 2 over a, and then here I have square root 1 is just 1, and square root of 1 again just 1. So 1 plus 1, that is 2, equals, on this side I have 1. And then the answer, they're asking what's a. So you should be able to simplify now. So this is 4 over a is equal to 1. And then you can see a is equal to 1 over 4. A is equal to 1 over 4. So the answer for a is 1/4, 1 over 4. I hope you learned something important when we solve this problem. It's basically like you need to know algebra to simplify the numerator and the denominator. So if you have comments, please type them, and I'll be able to reply to them. share, subscribe, and like this video if you really gain something important. Okay, thank you. See you later.